We're here at the Marriott site, as you can see. And this is the beach. Yep, we're on the Gaza. One more time. So it is very clear to see that no feasibility study was conducted where it pertains to this building at all. That much is very obvious. It seems that the pontoon that brought the excavators here has run into a few problems as well. See two steel sheets stripped from its side and line crumbled. So this is the jetty. Currently a lot of Guyanese come here and fish at the weekends for their friends and their families. However, in a few months or perhaps a year, when that's open, everyone's gonna have to find somewhere else to go. Ooh, this is very thorny. There you go, this is the Marriott jetty. So people come here a lot and do a bit of fishing, like that guy there. He just threw his line out. And I guess the guests are going to appreciate a bit of this jetty. Hope they appreciate it quite a bit. However, I don't know what they're going to make of our beach. Now, if you ever went onto Google and typed in 100 best beaches, you could even type in the 200 best beaches. Absolutely nothing that pops up would look anything like this at all. And that's a promise. So, to recoup $4 billion worth of investment, you're gonna have to price those rooms at least 150 units a night, and you're gonna need very, very high occupancy rates. Considering Guyana doesn't even have a tourist industry, right? It's a wonder where we're gonna find all that money from. You could actually tell something's a bit fishy about this. Something smells very fishy about this project. So this is the beach. That's the broken pontoon, new resident of the beach. And that, friends, is the Marriott Hotel, the epitome of luxury in modern Guyana. Welcome. Welcome one and all. The nicest thing about this area is out here. It's the water, the boats, and the sea. You know, it's in the conversations you have in this jetty, and I guess in the fish you catch. But this is definitely not any sort of highlight. I'm Guyanese and this is not exciting me. So, I mean, are you really going to travel halfway around the world to come visit Guyana to stay in this hotel? Just because of this hotel? Right, let's risk a bacterial infection and show you a bit more. Well, down at the Marriott, You can enjoy natural streams. This would be a natural Guyanese stream, by the way. And you know you're looking at a natural Guyanese stream because it's filled with garbage right along. We've got a nice tire there, chalked in. This could work wonders for Guyana, actually. A disaster tourism initiative. Check that out. And the level of that is not much higher than that at all. You can already see the erosion taking place because of the water accumulated up there. And all that water is there now because, well, it's low. And they didn't really do a feasibility study before they decided to build it. That little half wall you can see at the back there, it's actually the sea wall. So it's long been known that the tide comes up to and over this point. So I wonder what the residents, or the guests rather, of the Marriott will be doing. And here we're about to take a proper tour of the glorious beach at the Marriott. Here we go. Who would build a hotel here? Tell me. Now, one thing you need to understand is that all of this garbage here is not something that's going to stop washing up once this hotel is completed. And in fact, they may have to find themselves putting some sort of net all the way from there to, well, probably Salinas, maybe, because as soon as the guests walk down the beach, they're gonna still bump into garbage. So there needs to be a way to stop the garbage washing up on shore. And the surefire way of doing that would be to clean up the city, because much of this garbage here has made its way onto the beach after being washed through a canal, thrown overboard at the market. You know, there are a lot of attitudes and behaviors that need to change before a project like this is actually worthwhile. Because I don't know about you, but if I open up my window and I paid 150 or 200 US for a room a night, and it came with a beach, especially if I saw this image or this one advertising it, then I would be pissed off, royally pissed off. I think this is a nice place for us to do a little panorama from. There's garbage to your left. You got the beautiful Atlantic. And I'd like to just point something out at this moment in time. At no time of day does brown water look blue. But it seems the Chinese have also gotten the contract to turn this patch of the Atlantic blue. Perhaps we have a contract out for a large quantity of chlorine at the moment to do that. But it baffles us how the Marriott keeps showing up over and over again in the artist's impressions with blue water. And not just a mild blue, a nice blue, you know, like you're in Barbados or something like that. Sure you got the picture by now, but I'm just going to walk to the end of the beach just to get the proper, you know, guest experience. There's some flies there having a good time. How you guys doing? First residents of the Marriott, including a few dead fish. There you go. This way you're gonna be bumping into every evening. Live at the Marriott. deadcatfish.com/Guyana. The beach looks a little blue, but at no time of day does that water turn blue. Would you pay good money to come stay here? You can get a beach just about anywhere there's a coast. And that's pretty much every country close to a coast. Which doesn't make Guyana the only country with a beach. Let's just put it that way. So this is not good enough as a draw. Furthermore, you've got brown water, so you're competing with the blue water all around the Caribbean. Now, that doesn't make it dangerous to swim in, but you've got the perception of tourists to deal with. And this does not help. It doesn't help in the slightest. And every single high-low tide cycle, this is what you'll find on the beach. I doubt this popped up in the feasibility study, but that's what you'd expect. Now it's worth pointing out the ground down there is low. Alright, that's not built very high off the ground. So flooding is likely to be an issue in the future. And the current cycle of high tides is moving down this coast. Started till over there beyond Salinas, and it's expected to reach this area within a few months. Now goodness knows after they fill that building with millions of dollars in furnishing and the carpets and the plush sofas, etc., who knows what kind of damage is going to be caused and who's going to have to buy it back. Well, most likely the Guyanese taxpayer, as we're paying for it. That's your hotel if you're Guyanese, or rather you paid for it. You don't own it, however. We all know who owns it, minus a few mystery investors, of course. So here's a tour. The question you'd be asking yourself legitimately at the moment is, are you kidding? Are you kidding? Is this what $4 billion worth of investment looks like? The other day, Suriname spent an almost equivalent sum building the first gold refinery in the region. So it stands to reason they're going to see a return in their investment long before Guyana does. Because there's incentive now to send your gold to Suriname rather than overseas to Europe or America to have it processed. Alright? I don't know who's sending people here. In all honesty, I don't. So it's not clear how we'll be recouping that money. Now, you've already seen a lot of the garbage, so we can move beyond it and address this bit of sand here. This is part of the beach. Never mind, my feet are starting to sink into the sand because of how wet it is. But take a good look at what's going on here. They're gonna need an inordinate amount of sand to address this. A tremendous amount of sand. And good luck, because when the high tide comes up, it's almost to the top of that jetty, and many times the waves lap over the jetty. So, you know, right? If you're still asking yourself who gave this the go ahead, well, we're probably on the same boat right about now. $4 billion, 150 million US for the airport, 50 million for this, another few million for a bridge. Corrupt. There's a fish pond at the Marriott. So where did those fish come from? Has a clear indication that there was no barrier between the ocean and this bit of water at some point last night, perhaps during the last high tide. And it wasn't a spring tide, friends. It's set to continue, and in the next few months this area is supposed to be bracing itself for the high tide cycle. Serious flooding, basically.